Well, hello everybody, and welcome to this episode of GBear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. Looking at this big sheet of, looks like plastic, right? Well, that's actually a Fresnel lens. It comes from the front of a big screen TV. And if you look back at some of my older videos from back around 2016 to 2017, you'll see where I actually made one of these up with a frame. I had to leave that behind. I didn't have room to pack it, and I was afraid it was going to get damaged anyway. But I found a big screen TV out here in the desert. What a Fresnel lens is it acts a lot like a magnifying glass in the sun. When you hold a magnifying glass out in the sun, you get that little bead of light that will, well, I guess kids in the old days used to burn ants, and I never did that, but we used them to start little campfires and stuff. We taught that in the Cub Scouts. And anyway, that's what this is, and it's broken on one end. And this has got, it's actually a bunch of spirals. It's hard to see. I'll show it to you when I get it set up. But what I'm going to have to do is cut about 6 inches off that side and 6 inches off this side so I keep that center in place. And then I'll probably take maybe 10 inches off the bottom and 10 inches off the top to make it a smaller unit, because I really don't need that big of a Fresnel lens. But I'll show you how easy it is to concentrate the sun's rays, even on a cold day like today. The sun's rays coming through that get magnified enough to start a fire or cook a can of beans or something like that. So I wanted to get that down, and I'm going to show you the rest of the TV. I've taken it apart outside, and these are, there's inside of those things, they have this really high quality mirror. I mean, this is super crystal clear. You could probably see my fingerprints on it. And it was broken. Whoever had dumped the TV, when they dropped it off of their truck or trailer or whatever, they broke the mirror inside of it, and I guess they're going to get the 7 years bad luck. So I took all the pieces over here, and then I cut some squares out of it. So I have some good pieces of mirror, and I have one more bigger piece up there. It's probably about an 8 by 10, and like I said, they're real crystal clear. So what I'm thinking of doing with these is I'm thinking about taking two of these. I cut about the same size square here, and I'll put them in some type of a frame, even if I have to cut them in a circle and put them inside of a plastic PVC cover or something. And somebody had given me this a long time ago, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount one of those mirrors on the end of this, because this is a flexible, real sturdy, flexible, bendable shaft on here. And I want to make a mirror, a rear view mirror, that'll clip on right about where that clamp is on the front rack there, so that when I'm hauling my trailer, I don't have to keep turning around to make sure everything's still back there. I could just look in the mirror. And I wish I had two of those little things. I'd put one on each side, but one will do just fine. And I wanted to show you that. And then a couple other things is I made a couple of these little hand sifters. I got one for me and one for Andy here. And I painted them green because I had the green spray paint. And these are nice for when you're just doing campsites and coin hunting. So you don't have to carry the bigger one with you. You just take this little thing right here. And I may put a little hole through here and put a little key ring on it with a snap lock from an old dog leash or something. So you can just clip it on your belt loop or whatever and just hang it there and have it handy when you need it. So I want to show you that. And Andy's unit is up there on top of the drill press. So I'll end up putting his little coin sifter up there also. All right, I made a list here so I don't forget anything. And I wanted to show you, oh yeah, the center tool. This is a center tool for round objects. So if I wanted to get the center of that can, there's two sides. One's got a real sharp angle on it here, and the other one's got the 90-degree angle. So you put that right around a round object like that, and then you can draw a line across there, then turn it 90 degrees and draw a line that way, and that'll give you the center of a round object so you can drill a hole. It's a real nice little tool. I don't remember where I got it. It might have been even a Harbor Freight thing, but I bought that quite a while back, and it's come in handy so often. One of these things is Andy did bring me a couple of these really heavy steel bars here, and they've got a coating on them, an epoxy coating, but I want to make a stomper out of that for breaking rocks. And that thing, this one piece right here is probably, oh, I would say close to 30 pounds. That's a heavy piece of metal. And I'll put a longer thing on there, and then use a piece of 1.5 inch galvanized pipe, some of the old pipe from the old turbine mast, and that'll fit right down inside of it. And then I can mount that over a steel block, and I can put rocks in there and slide that thing down on them and just smash them. Pretty cool, huh? And this wrench I found out there in the desert, and it was frozen up on both sides. Neither one would work. So I freed it up and got both sides working again. And let's see. Yeah, there we go. So I'll put that in the ATV, so I have that to go. All right, let's move on to the next thing. Oh yeah, a couple of people were concerned about my bearing caps, my dust caps on my wheels here. Well, look, I made a couple. Those are 1.5 inch PVC caps, and they were a little too large to fit inside, so I made I drilled a hole through this end here, and I put a 1/4-20 bolt through there, and then I clipped it into my drill press, and I swiveled the base of the drill press over to one side and used that as a rest, and then I used some of my wood tools for the wood lathe. I got those spinning, and then I cut down the size I needed so that it would fit over the bearing. And then to block the hole on the end, I had some set screws that I had bought years ago at Harbor Freight in these container here. And I took a 5/16 set screw, and I used a 5/16 tap, and I threaded the end of the hole in the end of the plastic cap, and then I screwed one of those caps in with some threads, or the set screws with some thread sealant on it, so it'll keep moisture and stuff out of the bearing. So I reason that cap wasn't hammered all the way in is because I'm going to pull them again. I'm going to pull the wheels, and I'm going to clean the bearings, completely clean the bearings out and repack them, and then put the caps back on. So I did get that done. Okay, we're going to go back out here now. And see, I got my ATV all covered and ready for the rains, because it's supposed to start late tonight, and for the rest of the week we're supposed to have rain. All right, you see all the stuff here on the trailer. This is all stuff that I found out in the desert, driving around with the cart and the ATV, and I brought it all back. And all these big lens things here, and those three right there, all came from the inside of that TV, and those 3 lenses there. Well, I said, what am I going to do with all that? Well, I don't know what I'm going to do with these lenses yet. And these things were oil filled, because it had cathode tubes in it. It used an X-ray that went through these lenses. And then these things were oil reservoirs that held oil, with those things bolted on, those right there were bolted on tops of these with a seal in there. And this was an oil reservoir with a filter screen in there. And there was oil actually in between the lenses. And that's the oil right there. It's a real super fine oil. And it's great. I just used some of it to lube my glass cutting tool when I cut up those mirrors right there, the broken pieces of mirror, and made my my little pieces of square mirror that I've got inside there. There was also some speakers inside there. These big speakers, the cones are completely torn out of them, but what I can do with these is I'll take the magnets out of them and I'll reuse those magnets for something. I found these bed springs. I like using those for desert rebar when I'm doing concrete footings. They're round, so I just drop them down into the concrete footings and gives me a little extra strength. Here's the little mid-ranges and tweeters that were in there with some capacitors on them. And I saved those. And then, of course, the coils here. And these magnets also were wrapped around the cathode tubes. So I saved those. There's actually 6 magnets here. And I saved those. And then these coils were around the cathode tubes. And I saved those because I may use those for something, or I may use the wire for building some sort of an antenna. All right. This is how much coin I found so far out there metal detecting at some of the different campsites I found. But I want to show you these lenses right here, what these are going to be handy for. And I got one for me and one for Andy. You can put this right in your pan, and look at how big that makes those coin. I mean, really, that's a great enlarger. So you can put this right in your gold pan and enlarge everything in the gold pan and see what's going on inside there. See if you've got any color. I saved all the heat sinks that came out of that TV, and I saved all the boards. There's a couple more heat sinks on there, but those are soldered into place. So I'll get some time and I'll take those off. And of course the inverters and that stuff, the high voltage stuff, I'll pull all of that stuff off there. I'll unsolder it all and save what I can. And then I saved all these metal pieces that came out of there. And in here I've got all kinds of metal brackets that came out of it. And I saved all that stuff because when I fabricate stuff, all of that comes in handy. I also found that little tripod over there at another campsite, and I saved that. And those big eye bolts came out of a Christmas tree stand that somebody had burnt. And you can see there's still plastic in one of them. But those were the set screws to hold the Christmas tree in the stand. So I could use those eye bolts for anchor bolts. Save those. These metal pieces, I don't know what I'll be using those. I found some, what do they call those things? The plastic things. Well, you know what they are. But I'm going to save those because I saw one guy on YouTube was using those to make a form and then using silicone, cheap silicone in silicone tubes to make silicone mats for the sluice box. So I'll be doing that. These got colored lenses in them, so they're pretty interesting. Of course, the problem with these is I noticed that when you look at things over a distance through these, it inverts them. It turns them upside down. So we'll see what I can do with that stuff. And there's still a little bit of oil in this one, as you can see, moving around down there. But these were interesting. Those 3 right there were the oil reservoirs that were bolted down over the tops of this filter screen. And I'll figure out something to use all that stuff for. And okay, oh yeah, and all the PVC electrical conduit and the sweeps. The sweeps are expensive, and I can reuse that. the big 10-foot piece over there. Yeah, I'm going to be running some electrical outside here, so I'll be needing that stuff. All right, these rocks, I found these. Look at that quartz in there, just completely mineralized and heavy. And same here. And then this big old piece of sugar quartz, look at that. And it's got one little black chunk of iron in it right there. I grabbed that stuff. This is an interesting piece here. It's got copper in it, and it's got quartz inside of there, and it's got iron in there. So I want to check that out. And then this one here is almost fossilized. It's got a stringer running through the center of it. So we'll see what's all inside of that stuff. Yeah, I did show you all of that metal and all of that metal. So I'll make something out of those. All right, so I'm going to head down real quick because we're already at 16 minutes. And the wind's been blowing today. I got up this morning. It was calm as can be, nice sunny day, and just beautiful. But now the wind has come up, and it's starting to get cold, and you can see the clouds are moving in. So the rain is on its way. A whole week of it. It's all the way through till next weekend is what they said. All right, let me get this opened. And what I wanted to show you in here was even with all of the frost and the snow and the hail and all of that stuff, look at all the little green sprouts on my fruit trees. Look at that. Everything is sprouting. It's all coming to life again. So that's cool. We'll see what comes out of that. This is the burgundy plum, and this is the nectarine. And both of those have got some nice sprouts on it. There's some buds over there on the peach tree. And the pear tree had a partridge in it. No. It's got some buds all up on the top branches there. They're all getting ready to pop. You can see them right up here. Oh, let me get up there. Yeah, so that one's getting ready to go. These two tangerine trees, I think, are stone dead. They didn't make it, but and I think this one is stone dead. We'll see. But I've got to get my big unit built up here and get these things spaced out a little bit more and replanted. Here's my apple tree, and it's got some little buds starting to pop out of it all over the place. So that one's getting ready to go. The grapevine I'm kind of worried about. Normally these things do fine, but that branch is still alive. It's flexible. It's not dry and brittle, so we'll see. The tangerine tree, I have a feeling that one's going to come back just nice as soon as the weather warms up. All right, everybody. Reminding you again, if you haven't subscribed already, please do. And also click a share down there and share it with your friends and ask them to subscribe. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like my videos if you like my videos. And we'll get some of this stuff going. The spring is in the air. Next Sunday, a week from today, is the time change. And I was talking to Andy today, and he said that that might be the last time that we do a time change, because the bill was put up to a vote in California, and it did pass. So we may be going like Arizona and not having that daylight saving time anymore, and or we may go on daylight saving time and stay there. We'll see. I'm going to have to tie my barrels down here. They keep blowing away with these gusty winds. I had to chase one all the way down there this morning. That's all for today, everybody. GBear signing off.